It's a little bit upsetting how so many people, obviously not you guys, can't seem to be able to tell what's going on with this whole modern day book burning, statues coming down, right? It's crazy to me because there's some, you know, I'm sorry to say, but degenerated, demoralized people out there who seem to really rejoice the fact that the church is being attacked. And once again, I'm not defending the entirety of the Christian or Catholic or what have you church, and I got huge problems with some of them, like Protestantism, for example, right? Anyway, you look, if you rejoice at the fact that they're destroying the only source of moral code in society, then what are you if not a degenerate? What are you if not demoralized? Of course you are. How is this not logical? I had some joker, and dude, let me give you some good advice. Shut up and learn something. Because you've been indoctrinated. It's sad. Telling me how great the Enlightenment was, right? They might as well have called it illumination. Those jokers behind the Enlightenment. How it was a movement that, like, pushed science forward and gave us the scientific method. The scientific method existed long before that Freemason nonsense called the Enlightenment. That was a political anti-religious movement. That's what that was. From that, we got the French Revolution, from which we got the Bolshevik Revolution. From, well, and, the Reformation came before all of it, I guess. And from which we got all these other revolutions that had all these lofty goals, proclaim all these wonderful things, how equal we are, and then chop people's heads off. And now BLM are talking about bringing back the guillotine, while at the same time they want to take down the white Jesus statues. Like, how do you not see what's going on? But you want to talk about enlightenment giving us the scientific method. As if, and the church somehow standing in the way of science and education, when for thousands of years before there was private or public or whatever, secular schools, the only way to get an education was through the church. That was the only way to get an education for thousands of years. And till this day, the Roman Catholic Church is the largest, is the private organization giving the most money to science to this day. But you want to push this nonsense of somehow them being scientific when this enlightenment and this so-called scientific method that we got from the enlightenment, what has that given us? 90% of studies out there are bullshit. That's what we got. We got the Enlightenment telling us that the vegan diet is adequate for all stages of life. That's the product of your Enlightenment. Telling us that, giving us the wonderful germ theory. A whole bunch of nonsense. The germ theory that has taken over and has grabbed control of the entire world. It's got, never in history have we seen healthy people scared of other healthy people, thinking that they're going to get sick because everybody's healthy. This is the Enlightenment? Enlightenment? Yeah, I guess so. Science, get out of here. The goal, dummy, was to replace religion with scientism. That's why you got deism, slowly dissolving the connection between any specific God. And look, a lot of people misunderstand what I'm saying. Whatever, I'm not going to explain myself here. But that's why you got deism from the Enlightenment, and now they're tearing down Jesus statues because he's white. How can you not tell what's going on here? It's so obvious. Under the guise of all these other, lofty ideals and anti-racism and whatever the latest one is, right? What they're doing is destroying the only moral code that exists. This is the demoralization that Yuri Bezmenov talked about. This is how you create degenerates. Okay? Duh. It's really that simple. Anyway, let's talk about book burning in a way that I've never heard anybody talk about. Holocaust, right? Destruction by fire. One of these let's just call him German. I'm sure he was, right? Some way, shape, or form. One of these prophets, where books are burned, in the end, people will be burned, right? Prophesizing. Not warning, prophesizing. Steering society, okay? Understand that. Just like they prophesize COVID and all that other stuff, right? Anyway, what's wrong with book burning? But as soon as I say that, what do people think of? Hitler, bad, right? This is how advanced our thinking has been since the Enlightenment. This is how smart we've gotten. Oh, so amazing, right? What's wrong with burning books? I mean, if you're cold, they turn off central heating and you got nothing else but books, you're going to burn them. So there's some utility there, right? I'm clowning a little bit, but like, what's wrong with burning books, right? In and of itself, nothing. Not necessarily. I mean, look, I am not pro just burning books in general, right? Books are cool. Books are great. But if you completely reject the concept, I mean, you've been demoralized, degenerated. Now imagine the worst thing that you could do to a human being, yeah? Put that in the book with clear instructions, some photos, and then say, this is what you got to do in order to attain salvation. What, you don't think books like that have been written? What's wrong with burning, let's say, a book like that? What is wrong with that? Now all the libertarians will stand up and pretend how virtuous they are, right? Because morality is subjective. This is what you get. Okay? When you destroy objective morality, all of a sudden it becomes wrong to destroy things that are obviously evil. There's nothing wrong with book burning, right? Just as there's nothing wrong with completely authoritarian governments, unless there is, right? Because you could have a completely benevolent, morally correct, really, really, really good authoritarian government, like in the form of some of the kings that did exist in the past, despite all the lies that you've been told, right? And if this guy does everything correctly, what's wrong with an authoritarian government in that case, right? Just as in the case of a completely evil book or book that propagates evil. What's wrong with burning that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sick and tired of all these false dialectics, people. Like, look past the haze, look past the disguise, look at what's actually happening. All these ideals, all these ideologies, they don't really strike at the core of the conflict or the problem. Anybody who tells you that it's just wrong to burn books, point blank, period, no matter what, is obviously demoralized. Obviously. Anybody who tells you that an authoritarian government, as if people weren't savages that didn't need to be civilized, controlled. Are you sick? Anybody who tells you that a completely authoritarian government is wrong, point blank, period, clearly has been demoralized, has become a little bit too individualistic, because enlightenment, reformation, people are savages, man. Some of our evil natural urges need to be curtailed by force. Otherwise, you're going to live in the world of chaos where everything burns, the good and the bad. Because anytime the Russian, let's take the Bolshevik Revolution, claiming to want to be pro the proletariat, right? The poor farmer, the people in the countryside. How many millions of them did they murder? Same with the French Revolution. We're all equal, except all the headless people. Jesus, like, really? The Enlightenment was so amazing? Look what it led to, dummy. Give me a break, man. That's my video. Thank you for watching.